In Greek mythology, Icarus and his father Daedalus were imprisoned in a labyrinth. Daedalus created wings for himself and Icarus out of feathers and wax, and he warned Icarus not to fly too close to the sun or too close to the sea. But Icarus was very overambitious and he flew too close to the sun, causing the wax in his wings to melt. He fell to his death in the sea below. The story of Icarus is often seen as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overreaching, that is, getting too close to something that we know will ultimately lead to our downfall. But I think it's also a story about addiction. When we become addicted to something, whether it's drugs or alcohol or anything else, we often feel like we're flying high, like we're invincible, like we're in control, and we think we can handle anything that comes our way. But like Icarus, we're only just flying too close to the sun, and we don't realize it until it's too late. This is the story of so many musicians who have struggled with drug use over the years. They start off with a little experimentation and they think they can handle it, but soon the addiction takes hold and they're unable to stop. They are flying too close to the sun and they don't realize it until their careers and their lives come crashing down around them. Okay guys, before we continue, please forgive me for my voice. This is the next day and I have a little bit of a cold going on and my allergies are tongon. But anyway, just like the story of Icarus, so is the story of a young Dumalisile Mahlomakulu. And you know, Dumalisile Mahlomakulu, from the title, I'm sure you can tell, is none other than Doberdon. And for purposes of this video, we will refer to him as Doberdon because, yeah, his original name is really hard to say. And Dobba was born on June 23rd, 1995, and he was born and raised in the high-density suburb of Mufakosi, which is one of the roughest suburbs in Harare. And not much is known about his family life, but from my research, that's where he did his school. That means his primary and secondary education. Though I did see a few people claiming to have gone with him to school in Rua, so that's still to be confirmed. But from my research, he went to school in Mufakose. And Dobba said that he started recording songs in 2010 when he was only 15 years old and he was in high school at that time. And to date, he is about, in fact, he has over 100 Zimdanzel songs under his name, as well as a few songs that kind of border on the genre of like hip hop, Afropop, something like that. And he mentioned Tongai Moyo, the late Tongai Moyo, actually, as one of his music idols. And Doberdon was affiliated to the TMG Records, as well as DJ Oskid of Kenako Music, who was the producer for his hit song Mudendere, which was a chart topper in 2016 and 2017, and it was topping the charts on most local radio stations at that time. And Doberdon's music stood out because he's a Zim dancehall artist, right? But music yake had sort of like ka Afrobeat, feel to it. So I think that's what made him stand out from other musicians. And he did not only have Mudendereze chart topper, he also had Mukuru and he had Sabotage. And one of his songs that I like, Po was also a good song. And he also had a lot of successful collaborations, and one of his best collaboration was with Takura and Temi Moyo for the song Ndoja Jiri. And I believe this song was used at one of the beauty pageants in Zim, I think in 2018. And that song is just really nice. It's a really good song, and you know, song yacho ineka Zim dance oka ripa iri, and there's also the pop sound from Tammy Moyo, and then you know Takura Vangonzao, that hip hop feel, and yeah, it makes the song really nice. And at the height of his career, this young man had shows all around Zimbabwe. And at first he was a curtain raiser until he became the main act, Masho's Akio. And he also had a few shows in South Africa. That was around 2016, 2017, as well as part of 2018. But at the height of his career, he performed at the UK Summer Fiesta of 2017, and he performed alongside the late soldier Love Chibaba, as well as Kina and Jabi Blaze. He had shows in Wolverhampton, Luton, and Manchester, and people who attended the shows said that he put on a very, very good show. And you know, when all of this was happening, the young man was on a rise. Like, and no one could dispute that. Like, but you know, like the saying goes, what goes up must come down. And just like Icarus, the young man was too ambitious, and at some point he flew too close to the sun, and then the downward spiral began. And whilst everyone else was dealing with the effects of the pandemic that we will not name, I think Totizia, everyone knows the name of that pandemic. And as it was rocking the world from 2019, in early 2020, a video surfaced of the popular dancehall chanter seeming high on drugs. And this led many fans to believe he was under the influence of the infamous Motoriro, aka crystal meth or Guka. And when he was interviewed by New Zimbabwe, the newspaper, he admitted to have been under the influence, and he said, open court, that video was real. I got into that situation, and after I used the drug, I wasn't myself. I don't want to lie. I didn't know what was happening. I even got arrested on that day, and it was a nightmare. During my drug use, I was someone who didn't want to be told what to do. I lost sponsors and who wanted to work with me. Close court. And this was really sad, and you know, people were just like surprised that the young man was, you know, taking such a hard drug. That's a hardcore drug. And you know, just like his song, he was literally mudendere. You know, I hate to say it, but you know, song yake mudendere is about getting high, and in this video he was literally living up to his song's title. And with this admission, a lot of his fans and supporters believed, you know, it was a once-off thing, like an isolated incident. But the young Dobba was no way out of the woods. The same way the first video popped onto social media, so did more and more videos of a high Dobba make their way onto the World Wide Web. And speculation was that, you know, he could be psychotic, like kutongopenga, kuvuva, kutomanyabani, kutodambuka brain, kututaika. You know, some people believed he was literally mentally ill, and others also alleged that he was, you know, under the influence of drugs. And his management never made any statements to confirm or deny his erratic behavior in these videos. And it's worth noting that up until now, as of 2023, they haven't said anything. And I remember seeing a screenshot shared by one music blogger by the name of Blessing Jenna Havoc, and it showed a screenshot from Doberdon. And I'm not sure if this is Doberdon's management or himself. And the screenshot said, open quote, Madima regedza kutenderedza wrong and old things about me. When I released my album, no one pushed, even you so-called bloggers. When it's negative, you post. I'm okay, family. 4545 family. Close quote. Like, that statement is so incoherent. And this was patotanga nyedzama drugs, and he was saying why murukuda kutitenderedza zvinhu zvisiri true about me, and and then 2021 didn't bring any good news, just more problems, as more videos of Dobba acting strange kept being posted on social media. And actually some people tried to even raise awareness of his plight, in the hope that relevant organizations could help him go to rehab, or at the very least take him to a mental institution. And at one point he actually looked homeless in his videos. And the same blogger, Blessing Jenna, also posted on his Facebook, and he said, we are here today again, sadly, to speak about Doberdon's mental illness or drug addiction. I once spoke of Doberdon's situation, and his management, and this was in quotes, sent me threats on WhatsApp. I've received new videos of him literally speaking to himself. And then in brackets it says mental illness, whilst scores of youths look on, which is really sad, because people go to him and they ask him to say something, because they like to record him in his episodes. And like I said before, the drug abuse thing are all allegations. It hasn't been confirmed by anyone who in his management. It hasn't been confirmed officially. And 2022 ngoma ndiyo ndiyo, man, like, things didn't change. Stuff kept coming up, videos of him acting even ameno manya bani kutodaro kutovuva kutozodaro, videos kept coming up, and it was really sad. And at some point it seemed like he went to rehab because agato monyarara, and when he came, and it was alleged that he was now out of rehab and back to normal. And he went on an interview with ZFM, and during the interview he said that he wasn't taking any drugs and he was not mentally ill, but rather he said that it was evil spirits. It was a spiritual attack on him. And I cannot deny it. I cannot say it's true. I cannot say it's wrong, because we don't know what happens when someone is going through a mental episode, or when someone is high. They can just say anything to justify. And I feel like he's also a little bit how do I say it, like panika ka denial karipo of his situation. And as of 2023, still things haven't changed. Videos still keep coming up where he seems high, and it's really sad. But even though Shinjagadaro, he's still making music. And that's the thing, he's still able to make songs, but and you see him on the streets, Ashtononga Marara and stuff like that. So it's really sad to see a young promising artist, Arguita, go through stuff like this. And also I also have like a little bit of an issue with his management. Actually, with my bookings for him to do live shows. I remember last year I have a friend of mine, a producer, who was also an event planner, Takudzwa Splits, who's based in Rusape. He was planning a event, and Doberdon was one of the major acts who was supposed to perform, and his management did, they did book him. But on the day, Dobba couldn't perform. Either he was like having an episode, like a mental breakdown, or he was like strung out, totally tweaked. Like, and you know, that's not fair to people who want to go to these shows and then they get there. Mafambira is like out of it, and in the end he didn't perform, and that's money lost for the event planner, which is not fair. And so it's just one of those things where I wish, you know, people would take their time to I don't know, like, just help him when things are needed. And I saw like some of his videos and pictures are being posted under the hashtag ghetto youth buka, which is a good thing because people are still alleging. Like I said before, all these are allegations. Nothing has been proven. And so we're all speculating. Same as me in this video, I'm just speculating. But, you know, people have used the hashtag Ghetto Youth Guka to post these videos in the hopes that, you know, something is going to happen. And it's so sad, man, to see such a promising young artist life yake irukutodakwa. And, you know, in conclusion, I just want to say, you know, it's always sad to see someone with so much talent spiral out of control due to addiction. It's really sad. And this musician was one who was topping the charts in Zimbabwe, creating beautiful music that touched the hearts of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. But as time went on, you know, their drug use, which they probably started as recreational, became more and more problematic, and it started to affect their personal life, their relationships, and eventually now we can see it's affecting their music. And the once beautiful melodies that this young man used to make have become disjointed and chaotic, because there's some videos that still pop up of him achienda kuma studio ongopi yokana time kyotana ngoro watu mabazi. And their lyrics, which once were full of, you know, meaningful stuff, they've become, you know, meaningless and repetitive. And it's clear that the drug use has taken over their life, and they're no longer in control. And it's important for us as a country to remember that addiction is a disease, and it can happen to anyone. No one is immune to it, whether it be, you know, drug addiction, alcohol addiction. Kunema addiction angawandisa, guys. Even corn, I'm gonna say corn because I don't want to get, you know, striked by YouTube, but they got the corn. I think you know what I mean. And, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, even how successful or talented you may be. And so we need to show compassion and support for those who are struggling with addiction and help them find the resources they need to overcome it. And as fans, it's also important for us to remember that we can't enable this destructive behavior. Let's not go around you know, that kind of weird behavior. And we also need to hold our artists accountable for their actions. You know, I've seen other people also posting a strong defender, hey, no, see, I'm nakadaro, you know, that's not good. For someone to get help, they need to face the problems, and whether it's a mental illness or drug addiction, they still need to be held accountable, and we need to encourage them to seek help. And in the end, the most important thing is to always remember that there is hope, and no matter how bad things may seem, recovery is possible. And, you know, I still want to say I believe things are going to go well for this young man as long as he gets the help that he needs. As long as he just gets the help that he needs, he's going to be okay. And, you know, that brings me to the end of this video, and I want to thank you guys for being patient. And I'm so sorry, man, like, it's been 3 years since I last posted a video. YouTube my sports, guys. YouTube my sports. Like, it's so hard to think of what to post consistently. And I know, like, Pandagatanga, my YouTube channel, I was doing a lot of like makeup videos, but I also didn't want to fall into that niche of being someone associated with beauty, beauty videos. That's not me. I'm not just someone anongweta your makeup. Yes, I love doing makeup, but I also wanted to do more. But nakazongweta the mental block, nakazongweta zizi. People who are into making videos and stuff, creative block chinoitika, so chekuti mind yako just shuts down, and that's what happened with me. And from my opening credits, I think I'm gonna try and go into social commentary and documentaries, but I'm going to say this: it takes a lot to make these videos, so it's not going to be like Denchi drop every week. I'll probably make a video once a month, or Kanajagwaneka 2 times a month. And with that, guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Guys, my subscribers are 300 right now. I'm hoping from this video I can get at least 20 people or 50 people subscribing. Let's take it to 350. It's free. Apana send it on, and just push that notification button so that pandinongo donates another video, you can be informed. And I'm gonna try and make videos about Zimbabwean entertainers as well as socialites. So guys, if you're down for that kind of stuff, yes, you should subscribe. And I'm gonna say, I want you to mother effing thrust that like button, share this video, and don't forget to love yourself and love your neighbor, because if you don't do, nobody ain't gonna love you. Bacon out.